mine. I'm talking Payoneer, Netspin, Venmo, Stash. Too many ways for you to run my cash.
Check reparations, 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 check reparations.
Well, if you talking compensation, it's about that time. You get everybody.
Oh, giggity. And we're back. And you know what we talking about today? Let me blow that face up a little bit for you. So that right there is the transgender Minnesota lawmaker who introduced a bill removing anti-pedophile language from the state's Human Rights Act. What is
Mm.
what is anti-pedophile language, you may ask? Well, you're looking at the transgender Minnesota lawbreaker, actually. what's what's her
Yeah.
name? What's her name? Well, I'm sure it's gonna say their name up in here somewhere. And if it don't say that name, that means that they is protecting them. It says it's transgender state lawmaker in Minnesota introduced a measure that would remove language from the state's Human Rights Act and currently declares pedophiles are not included in protections based off sexual orientation. So, are y'all trying to say that y'all won't be adding a P to the LGBTQ plus? Is that what you're saying?
See, I took it the exact opposite way. To me, it sounded like you was gonna be adding the P.
The proposal language has shocked and bewildered Republicans, but the bill author says nothing in the text would weaken pedophilia laws. The Take Pride Act, HF 1655, was introduced earlier this year by State Representative Link Finke, or Lay Finke. Lee Finke, or is that Ray Finkel?
Yeah.
A member of the Democratic Farmer Labor Party and the first transgender legislator in Minnesota's House history. The bill would amend Minnesota's human rights, which would describe by the state as one of the strongest civil rights laws in the country. The current Human Rights Act protects against discrimination based on sexual orientation,
see,
defined as. Go ahead.
see him try to slide that in there though, P. Always
As-
trying to make civil rights basically the same fight as black and gay,
Mhm.
black LGBTQ. It's the same.
And it's the strongest in the nation too.
Wow.
The current Human Rights Act protects against discrimination based on sexual orientation, defined as having or being perceived as having emotional, physical, or sexual attachment to another person without regard to sex of the person, or having or being perceived as having an orientation such as attachment, or having being perceived as having
What
self-image.
the what? Come
Yeah, hold
on,
on, hold
Paris.
yeah,
Come
yeah.
on, man. Come on. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. I'm confused, P. I'm confused.
All right,
I'm
let's
confused.
break let's break this down a little bit. So, the current Human Rights Act protects against discrimination based on sexual orientation, and that is defined as having or been perceived as having an emotional, physical, or sexual attachment to another person with regards to sex of another person, or having been perceived as having the orientation for such attachment, or having or being perceived as having a self-image or identity not traditionally associated with one's biological maleness or femaleness. So let me brag back, because I there's a couple of them that sounds like you okay in pedophilia.
What's it? What's it? Oh
It
man.
says having or being perceived as having an emotional, physical, or sexual attachment to another person. So, like a grown man to a little boy,
Hmm.
without regards to sex of that person. So it could be a grown man to a little boy or a grown man to a little girl.
Uh, that's in the definition.
Okay. Without regarding having sex for have regards of the sex of the person or having or being both of them perceived as having an orientation for such attachment. So saying that I got a sexual attraction to little infants, hypothetically,
Wow.
and I have or I perceived as having a sexual orientation for infants. So that's cool. Or
Hell no.
having or being perceived as having a self-image or identity not traditionally associated with one's biological maleness or female. So saying that I feel like I'm a 5-year-old kid. I know I look 42 and I know, you know what I'm saying, I got gray hairs and all that. But I feel 5 inside. So
Right.
so so I'm in love with this 5-year-old over here. And you can't tell me my love is wrong because I feel like a 5-year-old. That's what they're saying.
Right. Pretty much.
The law also includes the caveat sexual orientation does not include a physical or sexual attachment to children by an adult. The language would be under Finkel's proposal. What?
How? You oh yeah. We said all that, but now the redefined print is no kids. Said no one ever. Shut up, you're lying.
Well, I almost even kind of perceive it a different way. Like, because remember what the title of the article is. They're removing anti-pedophile language, which means
Right.
that
That goes against. Also,
yeah,
they're taking that fine print out.
right. Like we don't want to discriminate against the pedophiles, you know. We don't want to, treat them or paint them bad or treat them bad because we care.
So you're not adding the fine print. You're taking
No.
it out actually.
Yeah, let's think about what the article says. They're removing anti-pedophile language from the state's Human Rights Act.
Wow. Shout out Jay Lava, not trying to tell you what to think, but trying to show you how to think.
Yeah, so so
Hello,
so
Flizzle.
so the article, the title is very misleading because it would have you think that they're removing pedophile stuff from there, which really they're caping for pedophiles, really.
Right. That's why they're removing the anti ped. See, I thought they was removing the pedophile stipulations. No. You're actually adding it in there.
Right, and making and blurring the lines and making it a gray area.
So you're adding the P to the alphabet gang,
Re-
essentially.
Reached for comment on Wednesday. Finkel defended the bill and told Fox News Digital that the measure updated outdated language that incorrectly ties pedophilia to a person's sexual orientation. Well, ain't that what you're doing when you call yourself gay or lesbian or bi or tri or ain't that the same thing?
But why are you trying to take it out though? I don't
It says
understand.
nothing in the bill changes or weakens any crimes against children or the state's ability to prosecute those who break the law, Finkel said. Of course, pedophilia is not a sexual orientation. The law never should have been included in the statutory definition in the first place. Crimes against
Being
children.
gay isn't a sexual orientation. You're not saying you're a girl. You're not if you're a boy, you're not saying I'm a girl. You saying I like boys. I like girls. That's
Right.
not have nothing to do with you. That's sexual preference,
Right.
not orientation.
So it says crimes against children are located in Minnesota crime statutes, and again, they remain unchanged. In addition to the change in the definition for sexual orientation, Fink's measures also include the addition of definition for gender identity, which Fink uses throughout the proposal amendments in the state's rights. The proposal definition reads: gender identity means a person's inherent sense of being a man, woman, both, or neither. A person's gender identity may or may not correspond to the assigned sex at birth or
So
to
I
the
could be a goat.
primary or secondary sex characteristics. A person's gender identity is not necessarily visible to others. See, I told you, I'm a 5-year-old inside. That's what they was trying to outline. So this is the overlay for the underlay. We're taking down anti this language, and the laws ain't gonna change at all. But what we is gonna do is identify what gender identity, and under gender identity, that gives you the ability to say you think you is whatever you think you is, which means you can do whatever you think you want to do, despite anybody looking at it as wrong.
So you could be a goat.
Yeah, if you feel like
Well, because it said you don't have to be a male or a female. It said or neither.
yeah, male, man, woman, both, or neither.
Or neither. So you could be a goat.
I, yeah.
Because if you're not a man or a woman,
Then
what
what are
is
you?
you?
Finkel's measure, according to one Minnesota House source, was incorporated into the judicial policy omnibus bill slated to come up for consideration in the House floor on Wednesday. Under the Human Rights Act, the definition of sexual orientation says that sexual orientation does not include physical or sexual attraction to children by an adult, or more simply describe pedophilia. The Democrats' decision to strike this language is disturbing and inexplicable. GOP House Minority Leader Lisa Dunn said in a statement. So you saying? So that's what they're trying to strike. It says the definition of sexual orientation says that sexual orientation does not include physical or sexual attraction to children by an adult, or simply described pedophilia. So that's what they mad at. Like
They
saying
want
what
to
they
take
really
that. They want to
do.
take that out.
Yeah, saying what they really do. That's suspect in itself, really. Why you caping so hard for pedophilia?
What was wrong with it?
I'm
I'm confused by this whole article.
well, it clearly defines what's good and what's not good, but it seems like y'all want to take that out and blur the lines. It clearly says that it don't mean you can't be touching on children. More specifically, pedophilia. What's wrong with that? That's
What's
touching
wrong
on
with that?
children, ain't it? Oh, but if you feel like a child and you touching on a child, then you can't call that pedophilia because that's a part of their sexual orientation. You
That's how they
see,
feel on the inside.
inside, yeah, and you can't see that. What they say, you can't
They
see
did
that.
say that. They did say that.
You can't
They
see
did
that,
say that. They said that.
and you can't see that. It says a person's gender identity is not necessarily visible to others. You can't see that. I feel
That's
like
deep.
I feel like a bullfrog, but you can't see that.
Right.
You can't see the bullfrog in me,
You can't. I am Native American, only from the tribes that get the casino money. You can't see that?
and I'm Jewish, and I need my bread right now.
You can't see that?
You can't see that.
Hmm?
Haim
Cut the check.
Mazel Tov.
Ah, la 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 la. Ay, ay,
Shit,
ay, ay, ay,
gefilte
ay,
fish.
ay, 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 ay.
Look, hey, what's what's They be having all type of little funny little jokes. Anyway, House Republicans will be representing an amendment today to clarify that pedophilia is absolutely not protected class under Human Rights Act. We sincerely hope Democrats will join us ensuring our children are protected, DMove added. Additional provisions to the measure offered by Finke seeks to enhance sexual orientation and gender identity protections in the House. But see, well, you really going forward with it then? How you gonna sit here and say you against something and everything say that you caping for and looking out for? Let's strike the big bad pedophile language. Just strike that, and then let's also give them some cover under sexual orientation. So we don't need that anyway. Take that out because right now
Right.
we got sexual orientation. Then you can bees what you wants to bees
Period.
in living color.
Period.
Anyway, there you have it. They coming for children bussy. That's it.
Period.
That's it. That's it. That's all.
Protect your
That's
kids.
man. You
We've
better
been
let
telling
them.
y'all.
Y'all better let them know what the difference is between this, that, and the third out here, man.
Period.
Now listen here, I ain't gonna hold you. Nope.
Nope.
I'm a mold you, fold you, and scold you by being on code. You know I got 4 words for you, cuz. It's love. It's peace. Blessings. And aloha. And I'm out the door for sure how you already know how this is already